Hello everybody and welcome back to another film review. Yeah. It's been a very long time since I put out my last video. I'll talk more about that at the end. There's a whole story behind it, but it's not that interesting. So today, moving swiftly on, we're going to be doing a double review for Ant-Man? What the fuck? We're doing a double review for Aquaman and Bird Box. Now you might be thinking, these two movies are completely different. Why are you doing them together? Well, there's a good reason for that. It's because they're very similar in many ways, but one does some things differently than the other that actually makes it entertaining. Also, the other reason I'm doing one video on both of them rather than two separate videos is they don't really deserve to. I don't feel they deserve to have two separate videos made on them. They are both not worthy of it.
Denied.
So I'm going to do a brief overview of both movies, basically what happened, and then I'm going to be talking about why I'm doing it together. So let's start off with Bird Box. Well, not quite yet. For some very odd reason, I decided not to say spoiler alert for either of these films. So, spoiler alert. Alright, let's try this again. So let's start off with Bird Box. Internet meme sensation. It seems like the whole of Twitter absolutely blew up around Bird Box, and most of the talk about the movie that I saw on social media was all positive. People were very happy with the film and very invested in it and whatnot. I was interested, but I didn't watch it until 2 nights ago, time of recording, which is the 4th of January, when my little mate, shout out to you, called me and said he'd just watched it and he wanted my opinion on it. So I watched it that night, right then and there, and yeah, it's not a good film, in my opinion. It was a real slog to get through. So basically, if you don't know the premise, Sandra Bullock and 2 kids are trying to survive in the world after an unseen, or maybe seen, monster has come to Earth or has appeared or whatever, and anyone that sees these monsters kills themselves. So they have to be blindfolded, and that's the whole premise of the movie. Yeah, it was a really, really bad film. Well, no, I'll just go for one, really. It's a really bad film. It doesn't deserve 2 really, really bads. It was just boring. It was just really boring. I'll get more into it. I'll get more into it after I've talked about Aquaman. But yeah, I really didn't like the film. I thought it was really boring and just nothing happened in terms of engagement. But yeah, I'll talk about that afterwards. So for Aquaman, we've got continuation of the world that was set up in originally Man of Steel, then all the movies that come after it, Batman vs Superman, Suicide Squad, and Justice League, and Wonder Woman. And we've got Jason Momoa as the Aquaman, and he is on a quest to stop his half-brother from destroying the surface world, Earth, as we know it. And so he is on a fetch quest in a massive MMORPG, basically. And I did enjoy this film. It's a very, very fun film. There's not a lot to it. The acting is okay, but there isn't a lot to go off of. But it is very, very fun. It has to be said, the cinematography, the set design, and the costume, and the way the camera moves during the action sequences is beautiful. It's really, really beautiful to watch, as well as being really fun. Just the action that you are watching in terms of the choreography. So from that point of view, it was very, very good. Now, the comparison that I've made between these two movies is these are probably 2 of the worst scripts I have ever seen put to film in the last 5 or so years. Like, the only thing that I can really think rivals this, well, there are 2 films, is The Last Airbender and After Earth by M. Night Shyamalan, both of them. Shout out to M. Night. These awful, awful scripts. Aquaman, the cheesiest dialogue, the most by-the-numbers plot you would ever see. Nicole Kidman, who is a fantastic actress, is one of the worst parts of the film, because even though she's giving it her all and her action scenes are actually really good, when she speaks, it's like, who the hell is this actress? She should never be working ever again. Same thing with Amber Heard. It's the same thing with all of them. But I think everyone knew that was kind of the only option for this film. So Patrick Wilson, who plays the villain, who I can't remember his name, Ocean Master, he wants to become. What's his name? Fuck, I can't even remember. It doesn't even warrant me looking it up or trying to remember. But he is like hamming it up big time. He is having so much fun with this script, and it made him so likable and watchable. Jason Momoa, you know, he's doing his thing. He's a really fun actor to watch, but his characterization was all over the place for me. One minute he was fun-loving and, you know, having a laugh or whatever. The next moment he was super serious, and those parts of his character never really came together smoothly. Amber Heard was the most side character whoever side charactered. Jesus Christ, she got absolutely nothing in this film. But even with all of that, you could tell that James Wan and pretty much everyone who was involved in the production of the film knew the type of film they wanted to make, and they played into that, and that's what made the film enjoyable. Comparatively to Bird Box, which had a awful script, again, same as Aquaman, awful script, awful characters, just everything was really bad, but they didn't even play into it. The interesting ideas that they had, like the crazy people who can see the monsters and want to see it and don't kill themselves. There was no real interesting things about that. There was literally zero tension in the film, and it was just boring because of that. The whole premise of the film is that you don't know what's going on and you're supposed to feel tense, but there's no reason to. First of all, there's no proper setup to why any of this would happen. Okay, yes, it's aliens, and if you see them, you kill yourself, but it feels so rushed. We get 2 minutes of Sandra Bullock and her sister in her apartment, then they're in the hospital, and then all of a sudden it all goes to shit, and you're like, well, hang on, like, why is it happening? What's happened? At least in like Cloverfield, you see the alien ship coming down like right at the very end, and it all ties together in that. It's a completely different film, but that's the first one that came to my mind. And the second reason there's no tension is because you start the film with the 3 characters, Sandra Bullock and the 2 kids, and then you flash back 5 years to all these characters, and it's like, well, obviously they're either going to die or run away, which all of them did. So why am I supposed to care about any of them? The only one I did care about was jacked black guy. Not Jack Black, jacked black guy, who I can't remember his name, the guy from Moonlight. I always forget his name. I'm very sorry I forget your name, but he was great, really likable, even though his dialogue was cheesy as hell. He was the only one that seemed to be trying. I know a lot of people have been praising Sandra Bullock, and she was good in places, but again, her character was very wishy-washy, all over the board, and very inconsistent. Yes, she was always just like a cold person, but I don't care if you're a cold person. If you see your sister get hit by a truck, you're gonna react. It took her like 3 seconds to like stop standing still with a blank face to go and check what happened. And then she did... Oh. So anyway, the reason that I've compared these 2 films together is because they are both awful scripts that are shot actually really nicely, but where Aquaman embraces the campiness, the cheesiness, the stupidity of its script, Bird Box seems to get caught up in being some important film. It feels like they were going for something very heavy and self-important, and it was just not needed. Just like, I'm not a fan of horror films, but I know that Happy Death Day and sort of films like that play into the comedy and the campiness of horror films. Me from the editing room again, just wanted to emphasize the fact that I have not seen Happy Death Day, and I know nothing about its story or themes, so if I've got everything completely wrong about it, it was just in an effort to shit on Bird Box, because yeah, that movie sucks. Alright, let's try this again. I'm not a fan of horror films, but I know that Happy Death Day and sort of films like that play into the comedy and the campiness of horror films. Just go for that. Make something that's entertaining to watch, not something that has to make a point. Now, Aquaman, obviously it's a superhero film, but some superhero films, like Into the Spider-Verse, which is fucking fantastic, by the way, or The Dark Knight, or Spider-Man 2, or any of the Captain America films, they all have a point to make, but they don't throw it in your face. Whereas Aquaman doesn't make a point, and is quite happy not making a point, and it's like, we're going to throw absolutely everything we can at this film, and we're going to have a fun time doing it. And it's not a good film, but it is enjoyable to watch. So, yeah, what a double bill that is. So for Bird Box, completely overhyped. It doesn't deserve any plaudits it's getting, if it is getting any plaudits. I would give it a 3 out of 10. 1 point for cinematography, 1 point for Jacked Black, and another point for the two kids who I thought were really good, and I also felt really sorry for them getting like dragged around all the time. I was like, please just be careful with them. The little girl looked like she was about to cry 80% of the film. I was like, please don't. And then for Aquaman, I would give it a 6 out of 10. Just as bad a script, but cheesy, hammy, and really, really fun. I doubt I'll watch either of these films again, but if I do, it will definitely be Aquaman out of the two. So yeah, go and watch Aquaman. It's making a shitload of money. Go and make it some more. Okay guys, that is it for this episode. Brief explanation as to where I've been. So after I made my Black Panther episode months and months ago, I don't even know how long, I think it's like 10 months or so, my computer actually crashed. It broke down, and it was broken for about 5 or 6 months. And then when I eventually got it back, my editing software that I was using, Sony Vegas Pro, stopped working for whatever reason. I'm not sure why. I think it's because I changed out a lot of the parts in my PC, because the last one had broken down, so I had to. So it took me a while to get back. I have recorded actually 2 separate videos for this channel. I've edited both of them all the way through, and I just really don't like them, because they're just me going on rants, like unnecessary rants, and although it is quite funny, they are very pointless. I go on a very long ramble around the point that I want to make, and it's not very clear what I'm trying to say. So I decided not to upload those, but I will be uploading this, and I'm recording another video right after this, so that will be going up soon as well. So yeah, sorry for the long wait. Thank you for watching this one. I hope you enjoyed it. If you've got any different comments, you can either leave your comments in the comments below and I will respond to you, or you can tweet it at me. I'll put my Twitter on the screen now. It's also in the description below. It's a bit of a weird one because I couldn't fit in all the vowels and everything. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you for another episode of another film review.